Another important concept you have to understand, food deserts. Who wants to guess what this means?
Where the lack of food is.
Ooh, yes. These are areas that have that are very limited in you getting fresh produce. So when we talk about like chips and sodas, they have a long shelf life. If you go to the grocery store, the supermarkets, the cookies, the chips that you have, they have relatively long shelf lives. They can be stacked onto the shelves for a long period. Can you do that for tomatoes and vegetables and stuff like that? No, they rot very quickly. So that's the key difference here. These areas, the people that are living on these areas, they don't have access to fresh produce. They only have access to processed foods.
Wait, why those areas? Why are so different those areas?
Well, mostly it's because they're impoverished, so very poor areas. So you're not going to see a rich area not getting produce. No, the people who are well off, they know what eating healthy involves. So they'll be eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, and they'll try to eat a lot of fresh produce. But in areas that are not so well off, they're going to be going to the Burger Kings, the McDonald's, and they're going to be drinking the sodas and eating the chips. Why?
But
Because it's
that's
cheaper.
good.
Is that?
But it's good.
It's tasty, but in the long run, is that good for your body?
Well,
Is
once
are your
in a
parents
while-
happy with you eating McDonald's every day? Would they be
No.
happy about it? No. Would they be happy
Once
about
in a
you eating
while.
chips every day and drinking soda every day? No, probably not. Same reason. But the people living on these food desert areas, they have no choice but to eat it. That's the issue.
Wait, for like lunch or dinner?
All day, every day.
Yeah.
All day, every day.
Wow.
So it sucks for them. And for you to tell them, why don't you eat a fresh produce? Why don't you get some salads? Why don't you like eat some fresh food? It's like, we don't have any here. And even if we did have it, it would be super expensive for us to even buy it in the first place. We can't afford it. The only thing we can afford, family of 5 with 3 kids, whatever. We can't afford to eat fresh produce every day and clean meat every day. We can only afford having the $1 cheeseburger every day. So these people living in food deserts are being depleted of their nutrients because why? They don't have access to fresh foods. Yeah.
Okay, so Khan would be saying that like nobody should eat meat, like meat should stop existing in our world.
Well-
Or is it saying only like let's say America should not eat meat, or is it saying like the whole world?
Let's go back to the original question. Is eating meat a boon or bust to the environment? If you're on the pro side, you think it's a boon, meaning it's a good thing. You can still manage to eat meat and still protect the environment, which is what we're going to talk about on lesson 2. But if you're on the bust side, then there's plenty of evidence to already prove why beef is such a hazard to the environment, why it's not a good idea, right? But I'm trying to tell you throughout this course, why did we have this system in the first place? Why did we have this system of CAFOs and monoculture in the first place? Is because money is cheap. You can get meat cheap. And the reason why we can get meat cheap is because they're raising in these big animal farm operations, right? These are called animal factories, right? And how can you sustain all these animal factories when they don't have the grass to eat? And it'll be way too expensive for all these cows to be eating grass because they can't get it from anywhere else. So where do they get it? They get it from monoculture. They raise single crop in these big fields, and they'll collect it and they'll feed it to the animals. And the circle goes on. So monoculture supports the CAFOs support the monoculture, and it keeps on going round and round. And who buys all that meat?
We.
McDonald's, Walmart's, lowest prices ever, those people. So when you're eating cheap food, it's good for your wallet, but it's not so good for your body. Just keep that in mind, okay? All right, wow, we spent the entire hour. Okay, so
Just
we're
by
gonna,
hearing this, I think like I should go to the bus, but like I have to hear about the boon too, like the boon side too.
No, now like looking at all those farms, it makes me like wanna like stop eating meat due to like all the animals that were like I knew that like animals were hurt in the process, but then like not
I still want to eat
severely.
burgers.
so I mean, a really important caveat or takeaway from all of this, I hope that you do take away from this is, you can vote with your forks, with your chopsticks, with your spoons. Whatever you eat, whatever you pay for, that's what the market will give you.
Like,
So,
well, in school they give us meat.
yeah, I know, but let's hope that the meats that they're getting is not gonna be like super cheap meat, or bad meat for that matter. Let's hope that they're actually spending a decent amount of money to get decent, you know, relatively fair practice, good practice in raising the meat. And again, happy cows make better food, man, better beef, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Happy cow.
Happy
Depressed
cow
cow.
means unhappy bank account.
Right, that's exactly what it is. So there's a comedian
But
that
it's
says,
still like happy
We'll
cows.
just take depressed cow. I think
yeah,
that'll be
there's a
fine.
comedian that says, yeah, I'm happy with the depressed chicken, thank you very much, I'll take that. I can't afford the free range organic chicken breast that's gonna be way more costly. And it is the case if you're trying to buy organic. But if you're well off and you have the resources to afford it, then thinking about your health and thinking about the environment, then you can vote with your dollars, vote with your money, and say, hey, I'm not going to be eating this CAFO meat. I'm not going to be eating this, so don't stop. Or can you minimize the production? But if you say, yeah, give it to me, I want more, give me more McDonald's, then they're going to continue doing what they do. Okay?
Do you think
Alright.
that one day, like, everybody will stop going to fast food, like,
I don't
stop
know.
eating fast food, and then, like,
But remember, I showed you the picture or the map of food deserts. For those people, they don't have a choice.